times. Residing in Mayapur in a grass hut near the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, he chanted the mantra day and night. He cooked rice once a day in an earthen pot and ate nothing more. He slept on the ground, and when the rainwater leaked through the grass ceiling, he sat beneath an umbrella chanting. In 1912, Manindra Nandi, the Maharaj of Kasim Bazar, arranged to hold a large Vaishnava Samilani at his palace. At the specific request of the Maharaj, Saraswati Goswami attended this Samilani and delivered 4 very brief speeches on Sudha Bhakti on 4 consecutive days. However, he did not take any food during the Samilani because of the presence of various groups of Sahajias. After fasting for 4 days, Saraswati Goswami came to Mayapur and took the prasad of Lord Chaitanya. Later, when Maharaj Manindra Nandi realized what had happened, he was deeply aggrieved and came to Mayapur to apologize to Siddhanta Saraswati. During that time, Bengal was full of Sahajiya sects such as Aul, Baul, Katabhaja, Neda Nedi, Dharavesha, Sain, etc., who followed worldly practices in the name of spiritualism. Siddhanta Saraswati launched a severe attack against those irreligious sects and did not spare anyone who deviated from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Even some well-known persons bearing the surname of Goswamis patronized these Sahajiya sects during that period. Siddhanta Saraswati was deeply grieved to see these groups of Prakrita Sahajiyas in the garb of Paramahamsa Goswami gurus misleading the people. Thus he completely dissociated himself and resorted to performing bhajan in solitude. During this period of solitude, one day Lord Chaitanya, along with the 6 Goswamis, suddenly manifested before Siddhanta Saraswati's vision and said, "Do not be disheartened. Take up the task of re-establishing Varnashram with new vigor and preach the message of love for Sri Krishna everywhere." After receiving this message, Saraswati Goswami was filled with inspiration to preach the glories of Lord Chaitanya enthusiastically. In 1911, when his aging father was lying ill, Siddhanta Saraswati took up a challenge against pseudo-Vaishnavas who claimed that birth in their caste was a prerequisite for chanting Krishna consciousness. The caste-conscious Brahmana community had become incensed by Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's presentation of many scriptural proofs that anyone, regardless of birth, could become a Brahmana Vaishnava. These smarter Brahmanas, out to prove the inferiority of the Vaishnavas, arranged the discussion. On the request of Madhusudan Das Goswami of Vrindavan and Vishvambarananda Deva Goswami of Gopi Balabhapur, Siddhanta Saraswati travelled to Midnapur, where pundits from all over India had gathered for a 3-day discussion. Some of the smarter pundits who spoke first claimed that anyone born in a Sudra family, even though initiated by a spiritual master, could never become purified and perform the Brahminical duties of worshipping the deity or initiating disciples. Finally, Siddhanta Saraswati delivered his speech. He began quoting Vedic references glorifying the Brahmanas, and at this the smarter scholars became very much pleased. But when he began discussing the actual qualifications for becoming a Brahmana, the qualities of the Vaishnavas, the relationship between the two, and who, according to the Vedic literature, is qualified to become a spiritual master and initiate disciples, the joy of the Vaishnava haters disappeared. Siddhanta Saraswati conclusively proved from the scriptures that if one is born as a Sudra but exhibits the qualities of a Brahmana, then he should be honored as a Brahmana despite his birth. And if one is born in a Brahmana family but acts like a Sudra, then he is not a Brahmana. After his speech, Siddhanta Saraswati was congratulated by the president of the conference, and thousands thronged around him. It was a victory for Vaishnavism. Bhaktivinoda Thakur passed away in 1914 on the day of Gadadhar Pandit's disappearance. On the eve of his disappearance, Bhaktivinoda instructed his son to preach the teachings of the 6 Goswamis and Lord Chaitanya far and wide. He also requested that Siddhanta Saraswati develop the birth site of Lord Gauranga. Mother Bhagavati Devi disappeared a few years later. Before her passing away, she held the hands of Saraswati Goswami, imploring him to preach the glories of Lord Gauranga and his Dham. Accepting the instructions of his parents as his foremost duty, Saraswati Goswami took up this task of preaching with intense enthusiasm and vigor. With the passing away of his father and his spiritual master a year later, Siddhanta Saraswati continued the mission of Lord Chaitanya. He assumed editorship of Sajjani Toshani and established the Bhagavad Press in Krishnanagar. Then in 1918 in Mayapur, he sat down before a picture of Gorakishore Das Babaji and initiated himself into the sannyas order. At this time, he assumed the sannyas title Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. You can read?
We are going to sing the bhajan Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. It's on page 86 in most of the books.
93 in some of them.
You got the book?
You're going to sing?
Yeah. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Say Mora Sampada Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Say Mora Sampada Say More Bhajana Pujana Say More Bhajana Pujana Say More Pranadana Say More Abharana Say More Pranadana Say More Abharana Say More Jivanera Jivana Say More Jivanera Jivana Say More Rasasnidhi Say More Vanchasiddhi Say More Rasanidhi Say More Vanchasiddhi Say More Vedaira Dharma Say More Vedaira Dharma Say Brata Say Tapa Say More Mantra Japa Say Brata Say Japa Say More Mantra Japa Say More Dharma Karama Say More Dharma Pranakubalaya Shashi Serupamadurasi Pranakubalaya Shashi Prapulita Habe Nishi Dine Prapulita Habe Nishi Dine Tuva Adarshana Ahi Garale Jarala Dehi Tuva Adarshana Ahi Garale Jarala Dehi Chirodina Tapita Jiva Na Chirodina Tapita Jivana Haharupa Korodoya Deho More Pada Chaya Haharupa Korodoya Deho More Pada Chaya Narotama Loilo Sharana Narotama Loilo Sharana Narotama Loilo Sharana Narotama Loilo Sharana. The feet of Sri Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami's eternal form as a gopi of Braja, are my real wealth. They are the object of my bhajan and puja. They are the treasure of my heart, and they are my ornaments and the life of my life.
They are the reservoirs of all rasa for me and the fulfillment of all my desires. They are the conclusion of the religion of the Vedas for me and are the goal of all my vows, austerities, and the chanting of my mantra. They are the purpose of all my religious activities. Thank you very much, Vaishnavi, for singing that beautiful bhajan. I understand that that was his favourite bhajan, and he also seconded very closely by Jasamati Nandan, so we'll have to sing that a bit later. So,
Hare Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was dedicated to using the printing press as the best medium for large-scale distribution of Krishna consciousness. He thought of the printing press as a brihat mridanga, a big mridanga. The mridanga drum played during kirtan could be heard for a block or two, whereas with the Brihat Mridanga, the printing press, the message of Lord Chaitanya could be spread all over the world. Rohini Kumar Ghosh, a nephew of Justice Chandra Madhav Ghosh of Calcutta High Court and originally a resident of Bhola in Barisal, now in Bangladesh, decided to renounce the world and engage himself in Hari Bhajan. With the purpose in mind, he came to Kulia in Navadvip, where he led the life of a ball. However, he despised the practices of the Sevadasis prevalent amongst the Baul sect. One day, Rohini Ghosh happened to come to Yoga Pitha when Saraswati Goswami was lecturing there. Rohini was delighted to see the luminous appearance of Saraswati Goswami and fascinated by his words. Late that night, after spending the whole day listening to Saraswati Goswami's teachings, Rohini returned to his Baul Guru's ashram at Kulia. Without taking any prasad, Rohini took rest, contemplating the lessons on Suddha Bhakti, which he had heard that day. In his dream, Rohini saw a ball, and his consort appeared before him in the form of a tiger and tigress which were about to devour him. Trembling in fear, Rohini desperately called out to Lord Chaitanya. Suddenly, Rohini found himself being rescued from the clutches of the tigers by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. From that day, Rohini left the Baul Guru forever and took shelter at the feet of Saraswati Goswami. Another Prasad Datta, the elder brother of Saraswati Goswami, suffered with severe headaches shortly before his disappearance. On the day of Annada's disappearance, Saraswati Goswami remained by his side all through the night, chanting Harinam. Before Annada passed away, he briefly regained consciousness and began apologizing to Saraswati Goswami, who simply encouraged him to remember the holy name of the Lord. Suddenly, the tilak mark of the Ramanuja Sampradaya became clearly visible on Annada's forehead. Annada explained that in his past birth, he had been a Vaishnava belonging to the Ramanuja sect, but due to committing an offense at the feet of Saraswati Thakur, Annada had to be reborn. However, as a result of his past merit, he was fortunate enough to be born into Bhakti Vinoda's family. After finishing his account, Annada breathed his last. Once on the day preceding Janmashtami in the Bengali month of Bhadra, Saraswati Goswami was engaged in bhajan at Mayapur, but was feeling disturbed as he was unable to arrange for milk to be offered to the deity. As soon as he began to think in this way, he chastised himself. Have I thought like this for my own sake? That is wrong. Because it was the monsoon season, Lord Chaitanya's birth site was covered with water and was totally inaccessible except by boat. However, that afternoon, one milkman turned up there, wading through water and slush, carrying a large quantity of milk, shira, butter, cottage cheese, etc. Apparently, a Jamindar named Harinarayan Chakravarti, guided by Lord Chaitanya, had sent the milkman with all the items. After offering everything to the deity, the devotees partook of the prasada joyfully. Saraswati Thakur was surprised to see so much prasad, and the devotees explained what had happened. After taking prasad, Siddhanta Saraswati humbly appealed to the Lord. I am very sorry to have caused you so much trouble. Why did I have such an uncalled for thought? To fulfill my desire, you have inspired another person and arranged to send these things. The world was amazed to see the supernatural power of Saraswati Goswami. Many educated persons from highly respectable families were attracted to him and thus dedicated themselves to the service of Lord Gauranga. Between 1918 and 1937, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati founded 64 Suddha Bhakti Mathas at the following places: Navadvip, Mayapur, Calcutta, Chaka, Meminsingh, Narayanganj, Chittagong, Midnapur, Remuna, Balasore, Puri, Alanatha, Madras, Chabur, Delhi, Patna, Gaya, Lucknow, Varanasi, Haridwar, Allahabad, Mathura, Brindavan, Assam, Kurukshetra, and outside India in London and Rangoon. Saraswati Goswami instituted Gaura Pada Pitha at Narsimhachala on the top of the Mandara hill and at several places in South India. He initiated 25 highly educated persons from Bhagavad Tridandi Sannyas. He published the following periodicals on Suddha Bhakti in different languages: Sajjan Toshani, a fortnightly Bengali; The Harmonist, an English fortnightly; Gaudiya, a Bengali weekly; Bhagavata, a Hindi fortnightly; Nadia Prakash, a Bengali daily; Kirtana, an Assamese monthly; Paramarthi in Udiya. In addition, he published a large number of Vaishnava books. In fact, he heralded a new era in the spiritual world. He deputed well-disciplined Tridandi sannyasis to preach the message of Lord Gauranga all over the world. For 6 years, he continued to supervise this preaching work. And when he found that his mission had attained its goal to a reasonable extent, he decided to pass into the eternal service of Lord Gauranga. He recommended to all Vaishnavas to read these books: Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur, Dasamula Siksha by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Sri Krishna Bhajanamrita by Narahari Sarkar, and Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Narottama Das Thakur. According to others, they were Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Prarthana by Narottama Das Thakur, and Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami. A few days before his disappearance, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati called his foremost disciples and showered his blessings upon all his devotees. He gave them the following instructions: with the utmost enthusiasm, preach the message of Rupa Raghunath. Our ultimate goal is to become a speck of dust touching the lotus feet of the followers of Rupa Goswami. All of you remain united in allegiance to the spiritual master, Ashraya Vigraha, in order to satisfy the senses of the transcendental entity of non-dual knowledge. Do not give up the worship of Hari, even amidst hundreds of dangers, hundreds of insults, or hundreds of persecutions. Do not become unenthusiastic upon seeing that the majority of the people in this world are not accepting the message of Krishna's sincere worship. Never give up the glorifications of the topic of Krishna. They are your own personal bhajan and your very all and all. Being humble like a blade of grass and tolerant like a tree, constantly glorify Hari. In the early hours of the day on January 1, 1937, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami passed away.
Thank you very much for a beautiful reading. So now Gokul.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that all writers after Vrindavan Das Thakur who are pure devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who have tried to describe the Lord's activities are to be considered like Vyasa. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is the original Vyasadeva in describing Chaitanya Leela, and all others who follow in his footsteps by describing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are also to be called Vyasadeva. The bona fide spiritual master is called Vyasa because he is the representative of Vyasa. Worshipping the birthday of such a spiritual master is called Vyasa Puja. The statement Ajay Vyasa Karibeya Vanane is similar to a text in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, first chapter, text 80, in which Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Kesha Kanda Chaitanyera Ananta Vilasa Vistariya Vanideya Chena Veda Vyasa. The unlimited pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be described by Vyasadeva in the future. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura says that these statements indicate that in the future other representatives of Vyasadeva will elaborately describe Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. The purport of that is that any devotee in the disciplic succession who describes the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is confirmed to be a representative of Vyasadeva. From Antya Leela, chapter 20, pages 285, 287 and 288. Now concluding words. So this is concluding words by Prabhupada. We have now finished the English translation of Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in accordance with the authorized order of His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj, my beloved eternal spiritual master, guide and friend. Although according to material vision His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada passed away from this material world on the last day of December 1936, I still consider His Divine Grace to be always present with me by His Vani, His words. In this connection, we may call to memory the time when I was fortunate enough to meet His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, sometime in the year 1922. Srila Prabhupada had come to Calcutta from Sridham Mayapur to start the missionary activities of the Gaudiya Math. He was sitting in a house in Ultadanga, when through the inducement of an intimate friend, the late Sriman Narendranath Malik, I had the opportunity to meet His Divine Grace for the first time. I do not remember the actual date of the meeting, but at the time I was one of the managers of Dr. Bose's laboratory in Calcutta. I was a newly married young man, addicted to Gandhi's movement and dressed in khadi. Fortunately, even at our first meeting, His Divine Grace advised me to preach the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in English in the Western countries. Because at that time I was a complete nationalist, a follower of Mahatma Gandhi's, I submitted to His Divine Grace that unless our country were freed from foreign subjugation, no one would hear our message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seriously. Of course, we had some argument on the subject, but at last I was defeated and convinced that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message is the only panacea for suffering humanity. I was also convinced that the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was then in the hands of a very expert devotee, and that surely the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would spread all over the world. I could not, however, immediately take up his instructions to preach, but I took his words very seriously and was always thinking of how to execute his order, although I was quite unfit to do so. In 1936, just before His Divine Grace passed away at Jagannath Puri, I wrote him a letter asking what I could do to serve him. In reply, he wrote me a letter, dated 13th of December 1936, ordering me in the same way to preach in English the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as I had heard it from him. In any case, when I had published Srimad Bhagavatam first canto in 3 volumes in India, I thought of going to the USA. By the mercy of His Divine Grace, I was able to come to New York on September the 17th, 1965. Since then I have translated many books, including Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, a summary, and many others. In the meantime, I was induced to translate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and publish it in an elaborate version. In his leisure time in his later life, His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would simply read Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was his favourite book. He used to say that there would be a time when foreigners would learn the Bengali language to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it is finished. I think that His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is always seeing my activities and guiding me within my heart by His words. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. Spiritual inspiration comes from within the heart, wherein the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in His Paramatma feature, is always sitting with all His devotees and associates. It is to be admitted that whenever translation that whatever translation work I have done is through the inspiration of my spiritual master, because personally I am most insignificant and incompetent to do this materially impossible work. I do not think myself a very learned scholar, but I have full faith in the service of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. If there is any credit to my activities of translating, it is all due to His Divine Grace. Certainly, if His Divine Grace was physically present at this time, it would have been a great occasion for jubilation. But even though He is not physically present, I am confident that He is very pleased with this work of translation. He was very fond of seeing many books published to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, our society, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, has formed to execute the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. So that's the concluding words from the Anjalila.
Jai. So now we'll do Yasomati Nandan, which is, it's about 4 pages back from the previous one on my book. Oh, no, it's number 62 in my book, but they're all a little bit different. Yasomati Nandan. 58 for that one, okay. Yasomati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gokula Gopi Paranadhana Marana Manohara Kalyadamana Vidhana Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Naganabara Vangsi Vadana Suvasa Rajajana Palana Surakulana Sana Nanda Govardhana Rakavala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Jamuna Tattachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Maya. Jamuna tatta jala gopi vasamna hara hara sarasika kripa maya. Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara. Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara. Bhakti Vinod Shraya. Bhakti Vinod Shraya. Yashramati Nandana Brajavaya Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana. Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the transcendental lover in the land of Vraja, the delight of Gokul, Kana, the wealth of the lives of the gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent. So I just wanted to read a little article from a book written by his disciples. It's a really nice pastime. It's very sort of attractive and wonderful, this pastime. So after, first of all, his father left and he was feeling intense separation. And then when Srila Gaura Das Babaji, his spiritual master, left, I think it was like a year later, he was really stricken and he kind of, he sort of was feeling very unhappy. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was feeling very discouraged in the absence of Srila Thakura Mahashai and Srila Babaji Maharaj. Seeing the helpless condition of the spiritual section in the country and the propaganda of the Sahajas, he was thinking, how will I fulfill the desire of my spiritual masters? How will I be able to preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I do not have enough money or manpower, nor do I have knowledge or talent that would enchant the public. I have no material skill or wealth. How can this grave task be performed by me? I won't be able to preach the message of my spiritual masters. Thinking all this, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada displayed his pastime of gloom and depression. Then one night, he saw in a visionary trance that Lord Gaura Sundar had arrived from the east side of the Yoga Pit temple with his associates. Amid the sound of Sankirtan, he was ascending to his birth site. With him were the 6 Goswamis, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Srila Gaurakishore Das Babaji. They were all present in their effulgent, transcendental forms. Addressing Srila Bhaktisiddhanta directly, they said, "Why are you in such a state of anxiety? Begin your task of establishing pure religion. Everywhere, preach the message of Sri Gaura and spread the service of the holy name, abode, and desire of Sri Gaura. We are always ready to help you, being eternally present with you. In your mission of establishing pure devotional service, you will always receive our help. Behind you, innumerable people, unlimited wealth, and extraordinary scholarship are waiting to help you. Whatever you need at any time will immediately appear to serve your mission of pure devotion. With full enthusiasm, proceed with your preaching of the message of pure devotion as it was preached by Sriman Mahaprabhu. No material problems can impede you. We are always with you." The next morning, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told us about this visionary trance with great ecstasy. And then he really started, in all earnestness. He began the Gaudiya Math, etc. But it was after this lovely vision. And we know that Srila Prabhupada had a similar experience when he was in Vrindavan and writing his first chapters, the first cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami appeared to him, and they told him the same thing: "We are always with you. We will always help you. Whatever you need, you will get." So it was the same sort of wonderful vision that the Lord gave to both of these special souls. So now there's a nice excerpt also from the Ray of Vishnu. 5.3. So these are classes by Srila Prabhupada, where he's talking. They're actually on the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Anybody put their hand up to read?
Lecture given on March 2, 1975, the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. 101 years ago, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared on this day. Bhaktisiddhanta is Guru Shakti, or Gaura Shakti, beg your pardon. Gaura Shakti means empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted his mission to be broadcast all over the world. He desired Pritiviti Ache Yata Na Gadari Gadadi Grama Sarvatra Prachara Hobe Mora Nama. Pritiviti, all over the world, as many towns and villages are there. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that his mission would be spread. This prediction was made by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally 500 years ago. My Guru Maharaj attempted to fulfill the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometime in the year 1918. He was brahmachari, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his maternal father, he wanted Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Of course, everyone wanted, but he wrote one small book, Sri Chaitanya, His Life and Precepts, in 1986. And he presented that book to the McGill University in Canada. He very much desired that the foreigners, especially Americans, would join this movement. That was his desire in 1896. And then in 1918, my Guru Maharaj started with his mission, one institution known as Gaudiya Math. Perhaps some of you know the name Gaudiya Math. And he was trying to spread this message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by chance or prediction, as you think, I was taken to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur by one of my friends. I did not want to go there, but he forcibly took me there. Yes, as he ordered me that you preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in English language. This was very much essential. This is very much essential. On the first meeting, he told me like that was my first meeting with him, and at that time I was in favour of Gandhi's movement. So I said that we are not independent, subjugated. Who will hear our message? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur refuted my argument. I was very much pleased. I had so many talks, but I was very much pleased to be defeated. That was so-called nationalism or anyism. They're all temporary. Real need is self-realization. I was convinced, but at the time, although he wanted me to immediately join him and spread this movement, at the time I was married, a married man, young man. I was married in 1918 and I got a son. I got a son at that time, 1921. And in 22, I met him. At that time, I was a manager in a big chemical factory. So I thought that I am a married man. I've got so many responsibilities. How can I join immediately? It is not my duty. Of course, that was my mistake. I should have joined immediately. Laughter, joy. I should have taken the opportunity immediately, but Maya is there. I thought like that. So that's a long history. In 1958, I took sannyas, and then I decided to take up the responsibility that my Guru Maharaj gave. I thought that my other god brothers are trying. I am not capable to do it. They're better situated. But somehow or other, they could not do very much appreciative activity in that connection. So when I was 70 years old, I decided, now I must execute the order of my Guru Maharaj. And thus this movement was started in 1965 from New York. And I was not very much hopeful because it was a very difficult task, just opposite the European and Western culture. I came when I came. When I first came, I had no money. I got a free passage through some Indian steam navigation company. I came by ship. When I was on the sea by Boston Port, Commonwealth Port, I was thinking that I have come here. I do not know what is the purpose, because how the people will accept this movement. They're differently educated, and as soon as I say, so my dear sir, you have to give up meat eating, illicit sex and intoxication and gambling, they will say, please go home. And there was laughter. Because that was the experience. One of my godbrothers, he went to London and he had the opportunity to talk with one big man. How do you say that?
Marcus Zetlin.
Thank you. Marcus Zetlin was a former governor of Bengal. Okay, the British former governor of Bengal. At that time, I was student. He was Scotsman, and I was a student of the Scottish Churches College. So he came to see our college, and he was standing in front of me in the second year class. He was a very nice, good gentleman, so he proposed to my godbrother whether you can make me a brahmana. My godbrother proposed, yes, we can make anyone brahmana provided you follow these principles: no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meeting, and no gambling. The Lord Zeppelin immediately replied, impossible. And there was laughter. So I was thinking that I will propose something that is impossible. Anyway, let me try. Laughter, cheers, and jai, and haribol. Now, by the grace of Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in the presence of my Guru Maharaj, you are so nice boys and girls in front of Guru Maharaj. You are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and you are taking part in it very seriously. My Guru Maharaj will be very, very pleased upon you and bless you with all benefits. He wanted this. And it is not that he is dead and gone. That is not spiritual understanding. Even ordinary living being, he does not die. And what to speak of such exalted, authorized persons like Bhaktisiddhanta. He's seeing, and I never feel that I am alone. I had full faith in my Guru Maharaj is with me. I never lost this faith. And it is a fact. And it is fact. These are two words, Vani and Vapu. Vani means words, and Vapu means his physical body. Vani is more important than the Vapu. Vapu will be finished. This is material body. It will be finished. That is the nature. If we keep to the Vani, to the words of the spiritual master, then we remain very fixed. It doesn't matter. Just like Bhagavad Gita, it was spoken 5,000 years ago, but if you keep to the words of Krishna, then it is always fresh and guiding. Not that because Arjuna personally listened to Krishna about the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, therefore he knew it. That is not the fact. If you accept Bhagavad Gita as it is, then you should know that Krishna is present before you in his words in the Bhagavad Gita. This is called spiritual realization. It is not mundane historical incidences. Excerpts from a lecture given in Mayapur, India on February 8, 1977, the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. No? It is. I'm sorry. I went over. Sorry.
Bhivavari Sesha Aloka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Bhivavari Sesha Aloka Pravesha Nindrachari Bhivavari Sesha Loka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Bhivavari Sesha Loka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Rama Krishna Hayagriva Nrsimha Bhamana Shri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Shyama Nrsimha Bhamana Shri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Shyama Putana Ghatana Kaitava Satana Putana Ghatana Kaitava Satana Jaya Dasharathi Rama Jaya Dasharathi Rama Vivavari Shesha Loka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Vibhavari Shesha Loka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bara Bhuvana Sundara Bara Vivavari Sesha Loka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Vivavari Sesha Loka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Ravanantakara Makhana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastrahari Ravanantakara Makhana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastrahari Brajera Rakhala Govinda Brinda Sorry Brajera Rakhala Gopa Vrindapala Rachita Hari Vamsadhari Chita Hari Vamsadhari Vivavari Shesha Loka Pravesha Nindrachari Uta Jiva Vivavari Shesha Loka Pravesha
utajiva.
Yogindra Vandana Shri Nandanandana Braja Jana Bhayahari. Yogindra Vandana
Shri Nandanandana Brajana Jahari.
Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara.
Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara.
Mohana Vamsi Bihari.
Mohanamsa Vihari.
Vivavari Sheshaloka Pravesha Nindrachari Utto Jiva.
Vibhavari Shesha Alaka Pravesha Nidachari Utajiva.
Yashodanandana Kamsani Sudana Nikunjarasa Vilasi.
Yashodanandana Kamsani Sudana Nikundarasa Vilasi.
Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana.
Kadambakanana Rasa Parayana.
Vrinda Vipina Nivasi.
Vrinda Vipina Nivasi.
Vivavari Sheshaloka Pravesha Nindrachari Utto Jiva.
Vibhavari Shesha Alaka Pravesha Nijajari Utajiva.
Ananda Vardhana Premaniketana Phula Sarayojaka Kama.
Anandavadana Premaniketana Pulasarajojakama.
Gopanganagana Chitta Vinodana.
Gopanganagana Chitta Vinodana.
Samasta Gunagana Dhama.
Samasta Gunagana Dhama.
Vivavari Sheshaloka Pravesha Nindrachari Utto Jiva.
Vibhavari Shesha Alaka Pravesha Nijachari Utajiva.
Jamuna Jivana Keli Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora.
Jamuna Jivana Keli Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora.
Nama Sudharasa Gau Krishna Jasa.
Namasarasa Bhava Krishna Jasa.
Rakho Bachana Mana Mora.
Rakho Bachana Mana Mora.
Vivavari Sheshaloka Pravesha Nindrachari Utto Jiva.
Hari Shesha Alaka Pravesha Nijachari Utajiva. You want to say the first verse? If you said the first verse.
The translation?
First, yeah.
The night has come to an end and the light of dawn is entering. O Jiva soul, arise and give up your sleep. Chant the holy names of Lord Hari, who is the giver of liberation, the enemy of the Mura demon, the supreme enjoyer, the all-attractive one, and the horse-headed incarnation, Hayagriva.
He is the darling of Mother Yashoda, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, and the protector of the cows. He is the Lord of the Vrindavan forest, the gopis' beloved, the lover of Radhika, and the most beautiful personality in all the worlds.
As Ramachandra, he brought about the end of the demoniac king Ravana. As Krishna, he stole the older gopis' butter. He stole the younger gopis' clothes while they were bathing in the Yamuna. He is a cowherd boy of Braja and the protector of the cowherd boys. He steals the hearts of all and always holds a flute.
Very nice. Thank you. Someone have the book? Who has the book? Ray of Vishnu? The Ray of Vishnu. Someone have the book? All right, I can't find what I was looking for. I didn't write the page down. I would just like to tell you a story that I heard. We were preaching in, my ex-husband and I were living in Cuttack in Orissa, and we made one good friend there called Yagyapati, who was an elderly astrologer. And he told us that when he was a boy, he used to go to the temple, or he was a devotee, and when he was young, he started going to the temple in Cuttack, which Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had opened. So he would go there in December for a week each year. I think 32, 33, 35, 4, 35, he went there. And he asked Yagyapati to translate for him into Oriya. And Yagyapati said, oh, I don't know Oriya. And he said, I know that he knew Oriya because he was born in Puri, and but he had me do this. He just had me do this service. He was at the time, he was like 14, 15, 16. He was still at school. So after school, he would go there and he would do some translations into Oriya for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. And he said that he was so kind and so loving. You kind of get this impression that he was very severe. But the stories of the God brothers and also the stories of people like Yagyapati was that he was very loving and very encouraging, and he would always be really happy to see Yagyapati. And Yagyapati just loved him, and he just loved that week. Every year, looked forward all year to seeing Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and serving him in that Cuttack temple. I thought that was very nice. And then we met another godbrother, a godbrother of Srila Prabhupada's there, Jyoti Shekhar. And Jyoti Shekhar had 6 children, and he just lived in a very simple compound there in Cuttack. We were there for about a year and a half, so we got to meet a lot of people. So he would invite us there during Kartik time, and we'd sing with his wife and all the children. They all had bead bags. They never wanted to marry, with these girls. And he told us that when Srila Prabhupada went to Bhubaneswar, he had invited Yagyapati, what's his name? Anyway, to come. So he came to visit Jyoti Shekhar. So Jyoti Shekhar came to visit the Bhubaneswar temple, and Srila Prabhupada was so happy to see him, and he invited him to come, and he shared the Vyasa-san with him. And they were like laughing and joking, like little boys together, really happy to see each other, like brothers kind of, And anyway, he was always really very respectful towards what Srila Prabhupada had done. Yeah, so they were 2 sort of people that I got to meet who'd had that experience, which was very nice. And one other story that I heard that it might have been in Cuttack. Outside the back of the temple, they had a big festival, and the prasadam was all cooked in big clay pots and was out in the back of the temple. And one of the devotees came running into Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and said, Maharaj, a dog ate out of one of the pots. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta went out there and said, which pot? And he pointed out, this rice pot, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta went over and took some rice, put it in his mouth, and he said, prasadam is never contaminated. Anyway, okay. Huh? Okay. Thank you.
Once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada's spiritual master, sent some devotees to preach in Bengal, and they preached very well. They wanted to establish a preaching center there, and they asked Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what should we do? He replied, I will be very happy if you establish a preaching center, and when you are ready, I will come there with many devotees. They began preparing the preaching center, working day and night, making it very good with all kinds of equipment, so that Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, would come there and be happy. They made a temple in that center, and the deities were ready and waiting to be installed by Srila Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati arrived at the temple at midday. He saw everything and he became pleased. Then he asked, where is the brahmachari who came here first and worked so hard? They told him, Master, that devotee was a very good brahmachari, but then he became entangled with a lady. We rebuked him so much for his behavior that he fled from this place. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, I don't want to establish a preaching centre here, nor do I want to install the deities. He said, you know, in this world we spend hundreds of gallons of blood to bring a person out of the clutches of Maya. And if that person makes some mistake, it will be washed away by his serving Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. But you have chastised him and he has gone away. So I don't want to make a centre here. Search for him and bring him to me, otherwise I will go away. All the disciples became very anxious and they began searching everywhere for that brahmachari who was entangled with a lady. Shripad Madhava Maharaj, who was at that time named Hayagriva Brahmachari, somehow discovered his whereabouts. He apologized to the brahmachari and said, please excuse me. Guru Maharaj is very unhappy with us. Please come. The brahmachari began to weep, saying, Guru Maharaj is very merciful. I was serving here in a watch company, but I was not really happy. I wanted to return, but I was thinking, how can I show my face? So I did not return. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has called. What endless mercy he has. He is more merciful than Lord Krishna. He at once went running and weeping to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. He fell flat at his Guru Maharaj's lotus feet, and all his anarthas were washed away in a moment. So don't criticize anyone, neither a devotee nor a worldly person, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:28. The verse is, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said one should neither praise nor criticize the conditioned soul and activities of other persons. Rather, one should see this world as simply the combination of material nature and the enjoying souls. To bring a person from the clutches of Maya is very, very hard. If lust or any other attachment is present in that person's heart, it will go away very soon if he is chanting and remembering and listening to Hari Katha. Be very careful. Don't criticize devotees or non-devotees. First look at your own condition and try to purify yourself. Is there any lust in you? Is there any kutinati, deceit in you or not? Be worried for that. Don't worry for others. Sri Guru and Lord Krishna are responsible for others. You cannot do anything to help them, so you have no right to criticize. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You just leave me a couple. Just a couple. You ready? Om Gnatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jina Tajmaye Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shwapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Putale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nevasesha Sunyavadi Paschacha Desatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Shri Vashavanavi Devi Dayata Kripa Bhadjaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Vajjala Premadja Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Motaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virurparvishtanta Virudha Parishtanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gora Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Motaye Vipalalamba Varasambodhe Padhambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gora Bhivava Bhumishtvam Nidishta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnav Savabhoma Shri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabharanaya Krishna Prema Pardayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Twishe Namaha Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktyakam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sudato Pango Mandamate Gati Mama Manda Gati Mate Gati Mat Savishwa Param Bojo Radha Madana Mahano Dviyad Vrindavana Kalpa Drumadhya Srimad Ratnagara Shimashana Sto Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtadi Sevamano Shmamari Shriman Rasa Rasambari Vamsi Vata Tatashtitaha Kashan Venu Shwane Gopi Gopinataya Shriyeshtu Naha Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Esha Pushpanjali Jai Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Esha Pushpanjali Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Esha Pushpanjali Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj Ki Jai. samsara dava nananida loka janaya karina ganaganatvam. Samsara dava nananida loka janaya karina ganaganatvam. Praptasya kalina gunana vasya vande guru charanada vindam. Danyanicanana Sringaratan Mandidamajanado. Uktasya Bhaktams Chaniyanjatopi Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindam. Chato vidhashri bhagavat prasado Shwadhana triptim hari bhakta sangan. Chato vidhashri bhagavat prasado Shwadhana triptim hari bhakta sangan. Kridvaiva triptim Vajradasadhaiva Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindam. Shri Radhikamad Havayoda Pada Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namnam. Shri Radhikamad Havayoda Pada Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namnam. Praptikshanashva Dhanalorupasya Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindam. Praptikshanashva Dhanalorupasya Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindam. Nikunjayono Ratikeli Sijai Jayadi Biyuktira Pikshaniya Nikunjayono Ratikeli Sijai Jayadi Biyuktira Pikshaniya Tatra Didaksha Rati Balabhasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Sakshadaritve Nastamasta Sastri Uktatatabhav Jatariva Sabdi Sakshadaritve Nastamasta Sastri Uktatatav Jatariva Sabdi Kintu Prabhoya Priyadevatasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Jasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasado Jasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi Jasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasado Jasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi Dayam Shtuvam Stischaya Sastri Sanjam Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindam Dayam Shtuvam Stischaya Sastri Sanjam Vande Guru Sri Charanada Vindam Samsara Dava Nananida Loka Pranaya Karina Ganaganatvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Praptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Govardhana Pracharine Nevasesha Sunyavadi Pastata Desatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govardhana Radha Govardhana Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Govardhana Radha Govardhana Sri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Nityai Gaura Hari Bolo, Hari Bolo, Hari Bolo, Nityai Gaura Hari Bolo. Nitai Gaura Hare Bolo, Hare Bolo, Hare Bolo, Nitai Gaura Hare Bolo. Nitai Gaura Hare Bolo, Hare Bolo, Hare Bolo, Nitai Gaura Hare Bolo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashotara Sarashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashotara Sarashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakura Ki Jai. Prem Se Gaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha, Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath, Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavana Dham, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mayi, Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi, Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta